We worked with the Sheriff's Department and with Chief Noel, with KPD, just even talking about safe schools, safe students, and how important that was to us. We knew that coming into the school year, so we've obviously had a great relationship with both Sheriff Spangler and also with Chief Noel. Our teams work really close together. So what's been great is we have that working relationship, and when you have that on the front side, you don't have to worry about that when incidents take place. So I want to say, first of all, thanks to our partnerships for that. I also want to say, because we were able to meet with the West High staff, we did that a few minutes ago, just a great chance to meet with them. Just want to thank them just for doing what we would expect educators to do, taking care of their kids, making sure they were safe, the administration, Dr. Spees, and just her ability to really handle the situation well, to make sure kids were safe today, and kids were safe today. And we just we're thankful for the way they reacted to that, and very happy with that. So I think there's not a lot I'm going to be able to say particularly to the incident today, because it is a criminal investigation. I think KPD's released a statement, kind of the details of some of those things that took place today, and again, we're not going to get in the way of that investigation. We'll continue to work with them on that. So I think the main things I wanted to talk about today too is just really say that the staff did what they were supposed to. Very, very orderly medium lockdown they went into, and then moving into the dismissal went great. Families were great and did a great job with that too, and kids were safe. So thankful. I did want to say as well, we had additional security that came when we learned there was some things going on, and also our school culture team. We deploy them as well, who have extra mental health supports, and just to take care of not just the students but also the staff, and they were here to do that, and we'll continue that next week as well. Both will be here to make sure that we have that, and we shared that with the staff as well when we met today.
Do you know how that teacher is doing?
I did have a chance to meet with a teacher and have a conversation with that individual, and ask, how would you like for us? We know that question is probably coming. How would you like? And just to show again the heart of our educators and the heart of this individual, just to say, I don't want to be recognized. I took care of my kids today. I love my kids, and I'll be back on Monday. I think that says a lot. So. In good shape, obviously, was here, was able to attend the staff meeting, those sorts of things. And again, we want to make sure we're taking care in multiple days past this too, so that both any concerns that come up as well as any physical, but at this point we didn't see that.
So they didn't need to go to the hospital or anything like that?
No, this individual was actually in the staff meeting and, and shared a few thoughts. And again, I was glad we got to share a few minutes together as well.
So what time did the incident happen exactly?
Again, I'm probably not going to be able to talk a lot on the timeline of those kinds of things. We probably refer to our law enforcement partners on kind of their timeline for that.
Can you say how long the school was in lockdown for?
So once, these situations are always fluid. And so as we were getting information, we were trying to share information. And so we felt at that point that students were pretty safe. But really for us, we went into a medium lockdown, which is not, it's not a hard lockdown. It's a little different. There's a little more freedom to move about the building. And that was really to prepare us for an orderly dismissal. That was kind of what we decided that was the best thing to do at that point. Obviously, big disruption in the day, and probably not a lot of learning going to happen at that point. So the main reason for that was to try to get folks kind of in an orderly fashion to be able to do that. And I'll say again, they did that very well, be able to kind of time releases of students and that sort of thing. And so I think that did help us do that.
Can you walk us through the response? What happened? You said it was a bit of a lockdown there.
Yeah, so it's kind of a protocol that we would do sometimes in those. So there's different levels without going into all of our security details of lockdowns that we look at. And the one that was here was more for kind of thing that you would see if there's not a major safety concern, but there could be some folks entering the building, or there could be some folks exiting the building, and we just kind of want to clear the halls and make sure everybody's accounted for and do that. So this was more of an order kind of lockdown than it was a safety lockdown at the time that was put in.
Are there metal detectors at this school or any Knox County schools?
Good question. So we do have a way, and I'll have Chief speak to some of that in a second, but we do have a way to do kind of random searches and that sort of thing, but we don't. I'll say this, I know anytime incidents happen, that's kind of a question that comes up. It's a challenge to kind of think through that, because school is a place that we've all been to. School is a place that you love, and you have relationships, and it's fun, and it should be attractive, and you want people to come to that. We always try to balance that with safety and the chance that you can move into kind of institutionalizing something so much that that it just doesn't feel like home, and you don't have those kind of experiences. And I think we do a good job of that. There are times when we have in the past, the history of Knox County Schools, kind of had more of a presence for that, or maybe kind of portable sorts of things where we do kind of random weapon searches and that sort of thing, but we do not have any installed in our schools and feel like we still have good safety protocols without that at this time.
Will this make you reevaluate?
We're always reevaluating everything that we do.
This is Dr. John Ryswick speaking right now, the Knox County School Superintendent. We do want to give you an update as well. We do have a statement from Knoxville Mayor India Kincannon. Her statement says, guns, quote, guns have no place in our schools. I'm so relieved that no one was seriously injured today at West High School. I welcome all efforts to keep our children and community safe. And one of the things we heard Dr. Ryswick talk about is that the teacher that was hit, grazed, so the Knoxville Police Department put it, by a bullet or bullet fragments, refused help, refused to go to the hospital, actually stayed for the teacher meeting that Dr. Ryswick just came out of before that press conference. Teacher is doing okay. The teacher even told Dr. Ryswick that they will be back in school on Monday. They went into a medium lockdown. Obviously, he said he didn't want to give away the whole scope of how their lockdowns work, but a little bit softer lockdown than what we imagine as a hard lockdown would be, where no movement throughout the school, everyone's in a classroom, doors are locked. He said this was a medium lockdown really to get ready for the dismissal of students. He said that parents and students, everyone was great. We've even heard from some other personalities in media in Knoxville who were in the school when it happened, who said that, you know, everyone kept their cool and went by the book. To quote Dr. Ryswick, staff did exactly what they are supposed to do. Everyone is doing great. He did say mental health support will be on site. They were on site when school was getting let out, and they will continue to be on site throughout the week. As far as the student involved, all we know at this hour is that the student is in custody and the gun was secured pretty much right after all of this happened. You can imagine that's pretty much why they went into that medium lockdown, that once the incident happened, teacher was hit. Multiple law enforcement agencies getting called to the school there, but it sounds like everything was pretty much taken under control shortly after that. So students were released at about 12:30. Big mess getting out of campus, you can imagine, but Dr. Ryswick saying students, staff, teachers, even parents were all great, and kind of everyone realized the situation somewhat, at least to, hey, we need to be calm and orderly and get our students out. Interesting thing we just heard there was about the metal detectors, and even Dr. Ryswick said that talk comes up every single time you have an incident like this. He said they do not have metal detectors, trying to make school, a welcome place that people show up to and aren't surrounded by all of this security gear. He kind of got cut off there at the end of what he was going to continue to say. He said sometimes they do random searches at schools. He was asked specifically about West High School and throughout Knox County. He did not specify which in terms of metal detectors. I assume that to be West High School. Once again, that was Dr. John Ryswick. School was released at 12:30 after a gun went off inside of a classroom. That bullet grazing a high school teacher. A little earlier this way. In the back, if you can just tell me that one more time in my ear of what we're planning to do. Okay, so Dr. Ryswick, we are hoping to get back to some of the things that they're speaking about. Here's another look at West High School. They should still be in class right now, obviously. They were released at 12:30 when all of this went down. And once again, just to reiterate from Mayor India Kincannon, her post coming out just a couple of minutes ago, she says, quote, guns have no place in our schools. I am so relieved that no one was seriously hurt, injured today at West High School. I welcome all efforts to keep our children and our community safe. Once again, teacher grazed by either a bullet or bullet fragment. Student is in custody. A terrifying situation to start that pretty much seemed to be under control shortly after, but lockdown going on. Messages were sent out to parents, not specifying that a gun went off or anything like that, but some of the images that we've seen of messages that parents have sent us here at WVLT News from Knox County Schools and from the principal at West High School, kind of painting a little bit of a picture. About 10:20 is when that first one went out, roughly there, to get to where the point we are here, that 12:30 they were released. That student is in custody once again, and that teacher, amazingly, refused medical help and actually stayed there on campus to be in that teacher conference with Dr. Ryswick that happened probably about 20 minutes ago before he came out to speak to the press. and that teacher says they will be there on Monday, actually talking about some of the things that were a problem and what they believe needs to be fixed. And to reiterate, they went into a medium lockdown to prepare for dismissal. Teachers doing okay. They have mental health support on site. They will continue to have that mental health support on site throughout next week. We are going to continue, of course, to follow the latest details, hopefully talk to law enforcement as well, get a better idea of the picture that happened earlier today at West High School, just off of Sutherland in Knoxville here in Tennessee. It is 1:53 this afternoon. Stay with us. We're going to have more coming up on WVLT News at 4. Make sure you have the WVLT News app handy. Any update we get will be sent right to the palm of your hand. You can also follow along on WVLT.tv. So we'll see you back here at 4, 5, and 6, 10 o'clock on WBXX, back on WVLT at 11. We will have the latest for you. I'm Harry Sullivan. We appreciate you joining us this afternoon with the latest details out of West High School. Have a good afternoon.